NuttyNu here. I'm going to do a video on how and what I do to set up my camera when I'm doing a video shoot, when I'm on set on an actual video shoot. So pick up your camera and we're gonna walk through this video along together. I'm not going to do any fancy B-roll, close-up, anything like that. I'm just gonna sit here and talk about it. So let's go. First and foremost, make sure your memory card is good. Make sure you know what lens you want to shoot on. Simple. Next thing I do is I shoot on manual mode. Shoot in manual mode, shoot in movie mode for the Sony Alpha camera. Once you have that set up, you want to find out what frame rate you want to shoot in. So for me, I either shoot in 4K 24 or 1080 60 frame, or I shoot in both. Not at the same time, but I shoot a little bit of 4K, a little bit of 1080 on both set or video project that I'm doing. So that's what I'll do. Next thing you want to make sure is your dry speed, your AF dry speed on the Sony. You can either set it to fast, normal, whatever you want to do. I set mine on the, if I'm doing the 1835 Sigma, I set it to fast and responsive. If I'm on a Sony lens, I usually set it to normal and just normal speed. Like when I'm vlogging, with my kit lens, I usually set it to normal because I don't want that thing to be focusing fast and bouncing back and forth. So you want to do that and have that set up. The next thing you want to do is make sure you check your white balance. I used to always shoot on auto white balance when I was on Canon. Biggest rookie mistake ever. Don't ever shoot on auto white balance. Well, here's the thing, don't shoot on auto white balance unless you want to, because when I do my vlogs, I do shoot auto white balance because who cares? It's a vlog. People aren't gonna be worried about your white balance. They're not gonna worry about that stuff. But if you're doing like professional shoot, you might want to have your white balance properly white balance to the scene or whatever you were doing. So if I'm outside, it's cloudy, I'll set to cloudy. If I'm indoor and the lights is all weird and funky, I usually have my white card / gray card, and I'll set my white balance to manually. The next thing you want to do is make sure you know which picture profile you want to shoot in. S-Log2, S-Log3, Cine4, whatever you want to do. For me, it's Cine4 and S-Log2. We're not going to get into that. That's a bit too much stuff. The next thing you want to do is adjust your audio if that matters, if you care about your audio. For me, I don't really care about internal audio. Sometimes I just set it up so I have scratch audio so I can sync up with external audio and stuff like that. But most of the time I don't use the external audio. Let's say if I'm doing like a car shoot, I don't use none of that scratch audio because it's pretty much junk. Shutter speed, aperture, ISO, that's all you adjust by scene. The next thing I do is, once I have my white balance and my picture profile all set, what I'll do is I'll adjust my frame rate to 1080 60 frame or 120, and then I'll adjust my shutter speed to that. And then what I do on the Sony is, for the Sony, you can go, okay, let me repeat this. When you're in movie mode, once you're done adjusting all your stuff, go and adjust it to 1080 or 60 frames per second or a high frame rate for slow-mo. Adjust it to a slow-mo frame rate, adjust your shutter speed, and then on the Sony you can adjust. There's a thing where you go do a memory, so it's memory recall. So I go do memory and I set it to number 2. Once that's set, that dial number 2 is now gonna be slow-mo. It's gonna shoot in 60 frame or 120, whatever you want to do. Once that's set, I switch it back to the movie mode and I go back to 4K. So now the movie mode is 4K, and if I flip it to number 2, it's slow-mo, 60 frame or 120 at the same time. White balance, picture profile, everything's the same. I just have to adjust my aperture and my ISO depending on the exposure. Hopefully that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, go ahead and rewind and listen to what I said again. Once that's done, I'm pretty much set to shoot videos, or I'm pretty much set to go and shoot. If the white balance changed for any reason, I'll probably adjust the white balance. If it matters, sometimes it doesn't really matter. If you're doing music videos, sometimes white balance doesn't really matter. But if you're doing like interviews and stuff like that, where you're recording people, where skin tone might be a factor, then you definitely want to adjust your white balance. Other than that, I don't really have anything else. That's pretty much it. You just keep your eyes on the batteries and stuff like that. Make sure you change out your batteries here and there, or make sure you have enough battery. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys think I missed anything, leave a comment section below. Or if you guys have any other questions, or how I do my stuff, or how I set up or how I film, whatever, or whatever I do when I'm on set, just let me know in the comment section below. I do read all the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything that I know, or anything that I can give out, any information I can give out. So yeah, hope you guys find this helpful. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. bye.